In this video I'm going to try and finish off the chassis rails so I can mount the engine on them. I've got two mounting points for the engine. Hopefully by the end of this video it'll all be in there and the engine will be hanging there by itself. Wish me luck. Well, I was just getting ready to fit this little loop in. Now I've come across another problem. Now the engine has got to go forward at least 2 inches that way, and I want it to come over this way as well so I can get as close to here as I can. The problem I've got is if I take this pillar I'll do this one-handed. If I put it there with the engine coming towards me, towards the camera, it's going to hit the bottom of this post. So it's going to have to go there, I reckon. Luckily I haven't done the other end yet, so that's alright. Let's put that down. So what cunning plan I've come up with, obviously I'm not going to use cardboard, but I'm going to put a little tower mounting point there. Make it out of some steel. But it's just a slightly bit higher than where it should be. I've worked out the angle of the angle, so that's what I've got to make next. I've got to make one of them with a. So I've just cut this one out. What I've done, I marked out the rest of the sheet for the other one. I won't cut this one out yet, in case this one goes wrong. I'm not sure how I'm going to bend this actually, but we'll see. Well, that's worked out okay. I made this very slightly wider. I've just got to make it fit a little bit better. It's not too bad like that, is it? Anyway, I'll give it a good old clean up. That can come down. I can cut that down to size. So I'm looking at the alternator. That can cut. It's got to be 2 inches there on it. That can come right up to there. I've got to cut that piece out there, I must admit. Yeah, not too bad, is it? Well, I've been scratching around because this is the way it goes up, like that. I've got to put something substantial on the top, and I couldn't find anything. All I can find is a piece of angle, which fits in there nicely. So I'm going to get a disc cutter, just run it down there and down there, and that's a little problem solved. I managed to sort of rough this piece out. It's all bent. I'll put another piece of steel on the top. It's just sort of roughly in place at the moment. That's where the frame's going to cut, that frame there. It's going to be mounted on there, so it's going to be really strong. I've got to get this piece fitting a little bit better because it's sort of got a bit of a twist on at the moment. So it's all just tacked together. So plan today is to clean all this off, all this old undersealy stuff. Then I'm going to square this up and just get it tacked in. Then I'm going to offer up that frame, still tacked, and finish it off, get it all tacked in place. I'm not going to weld anything fully in because I know experience so far, every time I weld something in, it has to come back out. Well, it's sort of in at the moment. I've got to level it all up, but it's not a bad fit there. I can get a weld on there. I think I need to put another little, some sort of a gusset in there, or maybe at the back would be better, wouldn't it? Be easier to get to. Up the top there, it just about missed that piece up there. Well, the engine's in pretty much the place it's going to be. I've cut down, I don't know if you can see down there, I've cut that little piece out there. So the engine's gone forward and it's come over towards me as much as it can. So I've got a little bit of clearance issue there. I'm just going to whiz that off with a disc grinder next time I'm in there. Next thing I'm going to do is I know this is all isn't even tacked up, it's just sitting there at the moment, but I think the first thing I need to do is see where the two threaded holes are. That's where I need to make a plate and bolt it on there. Then from that plate I can get some tube and go from the plate up to this top part, make it a bit of an angle. So the first thing to do, I need to identify what these threads are. Obviously them, well, I thought they'd be metric, but let's have a quick look, see what they are. This is the bolt out of the MG. Well, I need to identify the thread. I think I know what it is. It's got to be a metric. So these are the tools that you need. You need vernier caliper, even this cheap old nice you want to do. Ideally, some thread gauges, and to confirm it all, you'll need your Zeus tables. Right, so quick check to see what diameter it is. We'll go for the diameter first. Unfortunately, I've had to start using these because I can't actually see what I'm doing anymore. So you zero it, and you see what size the thread is. 13.66, so that's a 14mm thread. So we know it's 14mm. So what size, isn't it? So I'm sure MG knew what I was doing. These are some thread gauges. We'll start some very fine threads, cut the course. I've cheated a little bit on the purpose of this video because you don't want me to go through every single one of them. And you get a thread gauge that actually matches the pitch. It's there. And it says that is a 2mm pitch. Just confirmation, I don't think this is going to focus anyway. These are my Zeus tables, which everybody should have really in the garage. If you look down, these are the metric course threads. If you look down the outside diameter, I don't think you can actually see this, but I'll show you. 14mm. Then on the top there, this is the pitch. We thought it was a 2mm. You go from there, slide it across, it is 2. So we know it's a 14mm coarse thread with a 2mm pitch. Simple as that. Well, as you can see, I've marked it all out. What I've done, I marked it out in chalk, but let me see very carefully. I'll put centre punch marks all the way around it. So what happens if the chalk rubs out, you've still got a guide to go to. I'll put a 10mm drill through there, and put another 10mm there. Then I'm going to re-drill them with 13, and then I've got to wait for tomorrow because I haven't got a 14.5mm drill. So I've ordered one off Amazon, which is a blacksmith's drill, which is the shank there is 14.5, but the shank that goes into the drill is 1/2 inch. So, well, that's all cleaned up nicely. What I'm going to need to do now is open up these holes to 14.5mm, then offer it up. But I think I'm going to have to take a little bit off this edge here, this bottom edge. But I'll do the holes first, get them drilled, offer it up, then I'll be able to mark it to see how much is coming off. Probably needs to take about an 1/8. Oh, it's hot. So it's only taking me all day, so never mind. Most people moan about Amazon because they've got a monopoly on orders, but why wouldn't they? I ordered this drill yesterday, or last night, and it's just arrived. I haven't even got to leave the workshop. What can we pull about that? Anyway, I'm just going to drill this out. I've clamped it. You can slide the drill. That should go straight through there now. And I've actually made sure the hole, the bed's underneath. So let's give it a go. Well, that's one. I've offered to plate up, and I need to cut that much off. Down to that line there, ignore that line there. That's from there to this, just over 30mm, and a bit of round bar I'm going to use. I believe it's 27, something like that. So there's plenty of room there, so I'm going to cut that off. I'm going to cut it off at a bit of an angle as well. I think it's that angle. And then it should go on. Well, the next job is to replicate this beam here, or whatever you call it, chassis rail, for the other side. So I'm going to take this one out. It's only just sitting on it at the moment. And I shall make another one of those. And one of those. I've actually marked it out on a piece of plate, that one, so I just need to cut it and bend it. What I've got two parts of it. Got a top part there is already cut, and I can actually use that little piece down there. And then what I have got, two more lengths of 50mm box. They come yesterday. What I've been doing, I didn't actually show you, but all these pieces I've cut out for the framework, I've actually squared them all off. Right, these are all the pieces I've cut out today for the other frame. They're all squared up nicely. I've just got to put them together now. That's the bit that it sits on. Goes up that way like that. That bit there can be welded in. Exactly the same as the other one. And that's pretty much it. That's pretty much a day's work doing all that lot. Anyway. Well, I've got all the chassis to weld up. There is actually a sequence. The chassis legs actually all tacked, but it doesn't make any difference. But the sequence you should actually weld these up is do this seam here first. Then what that'll do is stop it doing all this. So once that's actually welded, it might open up a little bit on there. Doesn't matter, but you can just push it close again, just like that. Then, so that's the first weld. Your second weld is here. Now that's, bear in mind that's actually welded, so you go from that side towards the weld. If you go from there to that to the open bit, that will actually open up as it goes along. So the first weld is up there, to stop it doing all this. Second weld, oh there's a little gap there now. Go from there towards the weld, and that's actually locked in place now. Third weld, I can't really show you, but is here. Again, go towards the first bit apart, then go towards the weld. And to finish off, bearing in mind that's welded and that's welded, you can go any way you like. So that's the way you do it. Well, some good news and some bad news. The good news is I managed to tack together the other chassis rail, but it didn't match up to the original one, so I had to take it all apart again. Still, I want to get it right. So that one piece is right. It's all clamped. Well, I'm just gonna, this one's too long for some reason. Let's go there. It's too long. There, look. So I'll cut that piece off. So I'll do one piece at a time. So I'll make this one fit. Tack, get that one on. Then do the next piece. Well, it doesn't matter, I suppose it really matters they're a little bit out, but they're both the same. I think it's the key to the whole thing. And this bit here is miles out, so I know I'm going to have to remake that bit again. Well, some good news and bad news. If you're watching this on Sunday evening, you'll realise that I didn't actually do what I said I was going to do. I was going to actually get both chassis rails all made up and welded in, but unfortunately, or fortunately, the grandchildren come over, and so I haven't been able to do any welding Saturday or Sunday. So I'll have to end this video here now and come back next time. Well, the weather's really good at the moment. The weather's changed, it's getting colder, so I can weld both these chassis rails and that little piece there. I say they should have been in there. I actually offered them up, and they're actually a perfect fit now. So on this side, I've got the plate there for the engine can mount off the chassis rail. I've ordered some tubes, so hopefully on Monday it'll turn up. Well, the next video, definitely 100%, both these chassis rails are going to be in there, up there and over there. And I'm actually going to drill in the top of them about here somewhere. No, is it that side? Yeah, about there somewhere. I'll drill a hole and I'll put in another piece of tube like I've done there. Stuck a piece of tube in, and that'll actually brace everything together really nicely. So hopefully next time there should be a bit more progress. Well, thanks so much for watching, and hopefully we'll see you next time. If you could give me a comment and a like, that'd be absolutely fantastic. It doesn't cost you anything. It's nice just to, I do actually really like the comments, believe it or not. If they're positive or negative or a bit indifferent, or maybe this is something I shouldn't really be doing, but I'd like to hear from you anyway. And again, well, thanks so much for watching. See you again shortly. Bye now.